didn't even say you were going live.
I just now went live.
I'm sitting here saying that, trying to make coffee.
No, you're good. I just now went live.
Let's see, intensity 6, intensity 8, intensity 4. Okay, go with the 6.
Going with 6.
Yeah, I'm running low on the 8s.
I was gonna say, is that gonna be enough for you?
Oh yeah, it should be. If not, dude, I got fucking plenty.
Got plenty.
Dude, plus I got Starbucks ones that are like a 10. So yeah, that 10 will fuck you up.
Oh,
You
I
ain't
bet.
careful. Alright, let's hit this thing real quick. Perks of having an espresso machine right here.
Next to you.
It's right on my desk, bro.
I mean, that's almost like perks of having 3 stream decks and
3 Stream Decks, 3 monitors, 2 keyboards, 2 mice, a Blue Yeti microphone, a fucking mini fridge next to me full of shit.
yeah. I think my next investment will be a Blue Yeti. But
Oh, let me tell you, dude, it's fucking nice.
well, see,
But
I've
if you're
got
looking for something, a little bit cheaper, I would recommend the Snowball. It's the same quality as this mic, and it's like 50, $60 cheaper.
6.
What's up? You already got the Snowball.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking about getting a Yeti.
Yeti's nice, man.
So,
Got the nice little stand. Plus, I got a boom somewhere in this office that I could use for it.
see, I've thought
Right.
about getting a boom arm for the snowball, but yeah, I don't
See
feel like
the
I don't feel like
yeah
messing with that.
the boom that I want, I can't afford right now because it's $100.
Damn.
But it allows me to bring it up over the monitor, come out, and the mic will be like right here, hanging down, where it can be visible by the camera, but it's not in my line of sight.
Right.
The current boom that I have comes up and then comes down, and the mic sits right here, which provides good audio quality, except I have to keep my arm underneath it, and then if I have to type on this keyboard to type to somebody or something, I got to move it out of the way. And it's one of those little $25 booms. So whenever you move it, you can hear the fucking springs and shit. And it's annoying. That's what I get for going cheap.
There we go. All right, fix that little issue on my with that little white border. All right. So what we're here tonight, whatever time it is to
This
go over.
evening,
Yeah, this evening is to
this
go over
evening,
NXT Takeover 31, which was last night live. We did watch it. Welcome to our wrestling review podcast. This is episode uno,
uno.
and I
If you're
don't,
French, un.
and I also do not mean evil uno. Hopefully, we will do an AEW review at some point.
Let's play some wrestling uno.
So,
If
oh,
you lose, you get
Lord,
body slammed.
someone's going through a table. Okay, that's
Suplex
what I
City.
heard.
What's
So,
that? Draw two? Here, go to Suplex City. Draw
Suplex
four.
City. So it actually took place not in the Full Sail Arena, which I thought was really a nice touch.
Right.
It took place in Washington. If I do believe I'm correct, it was a very historic wrestling building, which was very nice. They had kind of a mini Thunderdome set up, which looked really good. I'm kind of like you. The chain link fencing around the plexiglass didn't make sense, but hey,
Right. Well,
got
the plexiglass mainly so they could actually have people
yeah.
outside of the ring, other than just the big
The
ass TVs and everything with all the people on them. The chain link is, I guess, to kind of make it look like a cage appearance, and the plexiglass is COVID protection. Spaz, welcome in, brother.
oh my God, does Spaz have a new keyboard?
Spaz, no, I just think he control C control
No,
V from somewhere.
he said keyboard is here.
About time, Spaz.
Yeah.
Now you
Now
can
you
type a
want
V. Now you can actually call them bears and not ears.
ears. So the takeover kicked off with a very nice video package, kind of summing up what the matches were and giving you the backstory if you haven't seen NXT lately, which was a very nice touch. Had a very great audio soundtrack. Uh, I believe the audio or the soundtrack for the event was Corey Taylor. I know that they just recently changed their NXT theme to being Corey Taylor. What's going on, Monkey? Or
To answer your question,
that might be Stitch.
the
Do I?
capital city
Yes.
was in Washington D.C.
Was okay. So
Yep.
it was in DC.
Yep. Capital Wrestling Center is in D.C.
Yeah, which that building is very historic, and if you are a wrestling fan, everyone knows that building because that is where some of the best shows back before everything was televised happened.
Yep.
Uh, oh, we can definitely teach you some stuff, Spaz. We got you. Like I can teach you how to go through a I can teach you how to go through a table safely. That's how much we got you.
I'll teach you how to take a bump.
Um, the first match was, and I've lost my notes. Hold on. Okay, first match was Gargano and Damian Priest.
Right.
It was for the NXT North American Championship. Uh, it to me, it had a really good pace. It was very well laid out. There was a few hiccups near the end, but I'm honestly going to say that was error on just how much they did throughout the match. It was
Yep.
exhaustion starting to set in. And of course, with COVID and everything, not having that live crowd, they don't have that adrenaline. It's not the same adrenaline rush.
Exactly. And
Um,
piping in crowd and everything is not the same.
yeah. Now,
You
I
know.
do like how NXT does funnel some of their NXT Performance Center trainees in to give them that, try to help give them that energy or feed them what they need.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
but it's still not like a live,
No,
full sale,
it's
full
not like
house.
a right. It's not like a packed 65,000
Yeah,
fan
you
arena.
yeah you don't have your regulars that are always there that are because the NXT crowd, for it to be such a small crowd, is I think that's what makes NXT stand out. For such a small crowd, they are so loud and into it.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
so
And
per,
it's your up and comers. You know, the people
yeah,
you're there. You're watching these people pour their heart into this before they get called up to the big time. So you know they're going out there every show and they're giving it their all before they get that big contract, and then they start to slack off, like we've
right,
seen so many of them do.
right. Uh, Now this match comes in. This is Damian Priest. This is
Oh,
his
that's
very
strong.
first. I told you. Yeah, let's go with it. Okay. Uh, this was Priest's first championship defense since winning it at Takeover 30 in a five-way ladder match, which was to me one of the best ladder matches I've seen in a while. Um, Within the WWE family. Um, uh, to me, this match was going to be the match where it was David and Goliath because you have Damian Priest, who's Undertaker status tall.
Right.
He's got that height,
Right. He's
and
got the look. He's got the stare. He's got everything
yes,
to
and
portray that gimmick.
he has a very menacing giant feel. So this was going to be a match where Gargano would display his speed and his wrestling technical abilities.
Right.
Um,
Spaz, hold on a second.
yep,
Spaz,
go ahead.
basically what a ladder match is, they take, usually it's like two people. Back in the day, it was two people would square off, but now they go upwards of like six people in a ring at one time, And what they do is they take the championship belt and they hang it like 20 feet above the ring. And the object to, in order to win the match, you have to be the first person that can climb a ladder and retrieve the belt from where it's hanging. And then you're declared the winner. So you take that aspect, the danger of that aspect, and then you throw six people in the ring at the same time. Any fucking thing can happen.
Yes,
Injuries. There have
it's
been many injuries
it's legitimately it's a car crash waiting to happen that you know it's going to
over and
happen.
over and over. And
Uh,
it's like a car crash on the side of the road. You can't look away
yeah.
because you know something's about to go down. What's up, Artie?
I've seen ladder matches. What's going on, Arctic? I've seen ladder matches where they've literally constructed bridges with ladders, and then someone goes plummeting through a ladder. Um,
Oh shit!
I've
What was
seen
that?
them. Well, like Ed.
Fucking
So,
ECW
oh God,
where
look,
they stacked like
ECW is a
six,
whole
six to eight.
nother. Yeah, I don't know why. Oh,
Spaz.
yeah, it got it for Spaz. Okay, well,
Spaz
I
got to
went
change
ahead
his
and
name because
approved
he
it.
keeps getting flagged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the approval.
So,
Spaz, you got to change the name, dude. You keep getting flagged.
but ECW was a whole nother monster, and I'm really like in another episode I want to touch on like the differences between New Japan Pro Wrestling, um, pure Puro style, strong style, British
Right.
style, all of that.
Sambo.
But I mean, let's be honest. ECW was known for the fan getting set on fire in the crowd. That was the big thing that hit them in the news was live
Oh
wrestling show
yeah,
sets fan on fire.
right. Well,
Um,
hell, you knew it was gonna be fun when you got what's his name, Sandman, that come out in the crowd, chugs a
oh
fucking beer, and then bashes the can on his forehead until he's bleeding.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. ECW was back in the day, which I do want to do. Uh, I do want to do some episodes where we watch older wrestling pay-per-views or older wrestling matches and do reviews on those.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
and just kind of go over things of like from then to now, stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
But in this match, the other thing that I felt was going to be a very big showcase was Damian Priest. Like we mentioned, he's Undertaker, like he's built like Undertaker. But he has such a hybrid style of wrestling with speed, power, and striking.
Yep.
Uh, this man does springboards, does middle rope assisted springboards, stuff that you see cruiserweights or lucha
Cruiserweights do.
libres, luchadors do.
Right. And stuff you see like the smaller guys like Gorgano do, but you never
Yes,
expect someone that's over 6 foot to do.
yes.
What's up,
And
monkey?
what's going on, Monkey? So it started off. It was really good. There was good storytelling in it. There was a point in the match where Gargano attacks the leg, and I believe it was the left leg.
Yeah, left leg.
Yeah, it was the left leg, or started going after the knee on the left leg, and
Yep.
all throughout that match, Priest kept hinting that the leg was hurt. Going back to what happened earlier in the match to keep everything tied together, which is honestly it's something that you don't see a whole lot now. It's you don't see them point out stuff that was done earlier in the match that could have potentially caused issues or caused them not to be able to do some of their normal moves.
Right. And
Which
another thing you also don't see with some of the bigger talent is when they get like a bump on the knee like that, they're supposed to be selling it, and a lot of times they're not selling it.
yeah,
They just go in and they sell it for a couple of minutes or whatnot, then all of a sudden they're back to
and then it's
normal. And
fine. Yeah,
right,
and that was something that stuck out to me. Like he constantly referenced that, and then there was a point where Gargano sent him shoulder first into the ring post, or he moved out of the way and he went shoulder first in the ring post. and
Right.
it was his left shoulder. So now he's showing signs left shoulder and left knee are being affected, which
Exactly.
for him is very vital because he does a choke slam and it's done from his left side. Uh, and if you don't have your legs, you can't grab someone around the neck, pick them up, and slam them to the ground because
Exactly.
that's
And
your
if,
base.
right. And if you don't have use of the left arm, you can't really lift them up with that either. You don't have your full strength.
Right, and another move that Priest utilizes is the Razor's Edge, where you have to pick them, you grab them under the armpits like a power bomb, but you raise
Yep.
them over your head. Um, if you got an
And drop
affected
them right
shoulder,
on their neck.
yeah, you've got an affected shoulder, you're not really gonna have that power to lift them like that. Um,
Yep.
which kind of takes us down, you know, takes us down to where they're brawling on the outside, which was a really good back and forth combination. I felt like that ended with Gargano taking that Razor's Edge bump on the ring apron, and that is a very, very, very hard point, like hard part of that ring because that's where all the steel and the boards meet. There's no
Yep.
give in that area.
And
Um,
he sold it like a champ.
yes. Um, then there was some after that, you pointed out that Razor's Edge also showed that Priest had very good ring awareness,
Right.
or what you know was very aware of his surroundings and where he was at. What's going on,
Exactly.
France?
What's up, Prince? Exactly, because he could have easily just done the Razor's Edge through the table, crawled back in for a count out, and just walked away with the win right then and there. But he decided to go with the ring apron
And push him
and
in.
continue the match that way.
Yeah,
Right.
it gave him that. Listen, if I'm defending this title, I'm not taking the easy way out. I'm not taking this count out. I'm not taking this. I'm going to pin you 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. I'm not Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Um. Then you've got
Uh, yeah, Merrick. Two people did. We'll get to
yeah,
that once
yeah. We'll
we
get
get
to
to
that one because that match was phenomenal. I actually went back and watched it 2 more times.
that.
Yes, that match was amazing. Um. So following the Razor's Edge, Gargano then uh does some very underhanded tricks, I guess you would say. Uh, One being the chop block, which was a very, very good counter. Damian Priest went for a pump kick, and Gargano actually in the middle of the pump kick dropped down and hit a chop block on the left leg again.
Yeah. Did that drop
Which
kick to the left leg and took his base out from underneath him. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember that. And then
what's
we're
going
back
on,
to
Salieri?
filling.
Or I'm sorry,
What
what's
up,
going on,
Mafia?
Celery?
What's up, Celery Mafia? Green
But
stalks?
but yeah, so you had them going back and forth. Gargano working that heel side or that bad guy side of things, doing the underhanded tactics with the chop block. Um,
Right.
then it spilled back outside again, and Priest went
Yeah.
for his middle rope
Went for
assisted pancha over the top, and
yeah.
Gargano, being the bad guy in this situation, grabs cameramen, pulls them in the way. Ref comes out and starts checking, making sure everyone's okay, and that is where the next major heel move came with a low blow.
Behind the official's back.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I remember that because I don't know. I don't remember how Gargano ended up outside the ring, but I remember Priest full head of steam, running, jumping, flipping over the top. And right as he got to the point where he's mid flip, Gargano pulled the ringside personnel, a cameraman and security official, into the way and ducked out himself and rolled out of the way. And the ringside personnel took the full blunt of the assault. And
right,
then ref jumps out and doing his little back turn, making sure everything is okay, calling out medical staff and everything. And while Priest is kind of standing back, kind of in shock as what just happened, that's when Gargano comes in and just throws that kick right between his legs.
Split the uprights.
Right. Field
Gargano
goal, 3 points.
Gargano rolls him back in, and then hits that super kick, or I think that's the one that he calls one last beat,
Yeah.
or one last beat may actually be the over the top rope DDT. No, he calls it Gargano's way. The super kick is
Yeah.
Gargano's way. He hits the super kick, goes for the pin, gets a 2 count. Really good. That was a really good. That was a really good moment in the match for Gargano to get his heat and show, hey, look, I'm going to do whatever I've got to do to get this,
Right.
by any means necessary.
As any heel should.
Yeah, yeah, and it was very good, it was very reminiscent of old school wrestling. You know, taking back to the dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair. It was
Exactly.
any means necessary, and he knew how to bend and break those rules.
Yep.
Um,
Ref's back turn, take advantage of it.
yep. So I noted that he's working the heel side of the match with blows on the outside, trying to steal the win to no avail. Uh, the kick out from that pin attempt, uh, Gargano goes into the Gargano escape, which is his submission move, and he realizes that Priest being so long, he has to do something to keep him from being able to maneuver as much to try to get to the ropes. And you see him transition from the Gargano escape into almost like an STF lock,
Right.
but he still had his Gargano escape and grapevine the leg, which
Right. It
I
right.
thought was very good, and it pulled back because it was still he was working the left shoulder and the left leg in that submission.
Right. It reminded me a lot of the Crippler Crossface mixed in with the STF.
Yes,
Little
yes,
Chris Benoit and John Cena mixed in together.
yes. And then, uh, yeah, and I even noted the leg grapevine on that left leg and working that left shoulder with the Gargano escape ties back to the attack on the knee and the shoulder to the ring post from way earlier in the match, showing that,
Right.
okay, I'm very well aware of what's happened through this match. I'm going after these weak points. Um,
Right.
the match actually came to a finish when Gargano went for one last beat, which is a over the top. He comes from the apron, jumps over the top rope into a DDT. Damian Priest in that moment showed just how strong he was, because he has to catch this man coming over the top rope that's not touching this ring at all in this move transition.
Yep.
Catches him, then he literally rolls him all the way around his back to the right side of him to deliver what is called the Reckoning, which is that very nasty choke slam of his.
Right.
Um, and literally hits counters Gargano's finisher into his finisher, showing, hey, I can be just as technical and innovative here. Um, and that ended up with the 1, 2, 3. Priest retains his title, and in all honesty, I think that was the perfect match to start Takeover.
Right.
It was very solid, very sound. Like I said, there was a little sloppiness, I guess you would say, right there at the end in that whole transition thing. But I think they went almost 30 something minutes in that first match.
Yeah,
So
something like that.
by then, everything that they'd done up until then, exhaustion setting in. Uh, you don't like it goes back to what I said, that live crowd, you don't have that adrenaline feeding through you the same way.
Right.
But overall, both men went out and showed why they're there and why they are in the positions they are in NXT.
Right. Gargano showed why he's the number one contender, and Prince showed why he's the, or Priest showed why he's the champion.
Right. Um, that leads into another video package that is the lead up for the match for our second match, which was Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. Uh, I noted because I think at this point you ended up going. I think,
Food.
yeah, food. Um,
Food call.
food call. So at this point, I really watched this match because one, I'm a huge Kushida fan. I've watched him since New Japan Pro Wrestling when he was the Time Splitters with Alex Shelley. Um, he's a very good technical wrestler and very sound striker. Like it's scary how accurate his strikes are. Um, I did note this is Kushida's first major rivalry since leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling and coming to NXT. Uh, it's this rivalry will pretty much says, is this person going to be someone that we go to in the future, or is he just going to be a another piece of the puzzle?
Right.
Is he going to be a standout major player? Is he going to be one of our workhorses? Um, and in my opinion, despite everything outside of the wrestling world, Velveteen Dream is the perfect person to test him with. Uh, Velveteen Dream's been in many rivalries, been in the major mix for a while. Um, I noted here that Velveteen Dream is playing off of Kushida's past with his ring attire. Um, as Kushida's ring attire in New Japan and entrance, if you ever want to see it, check it out. It's very Back to the Future themed, and he looks a lot like an Asian Marty McFly. Like he's dressed in the bright orange bubble vest and everything. Like he literally is Marty McFly. Swear to God, Warden.
Warden coming in 5 gifted subs.
Warden came in hot. uh, but no, he's dressed very Marty McFly, and I'm going to have these alerts going off now for a couple for a little bit. Thank you so much, Warden. And welcome everyone to your subs. It's awesome to see you here. I see Spaz got one, Arctic got one, uh, Carrie got one, Drama Llama got one, and Tanya got one. So, thank you so much, Warden.
Good God, Spaz, why you keep getting timed out?
See if you can untime him.
It's a 5 second timeout, so he's back. What you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to go in and.
Yeah, I gotta fix that. I thought I had it fixed to where emotes was okay.
Yeah.
Um.
I thought I did too until he came in and got timed out on my channel too.
No, but it's awesome, Warden. Thank you. So before that random just bomb of sub drop just came through, um, I was saying that Velveteen Dream is known in Takeover as being over the top. Um, Entrances themed to his ring gear. Um, the one that stuck out the most to me was when he faced Ricochet, and he came out and his gear was the Prince Puma gear from where Ricochet was Prince Puma in Lucha Underground. It's those. It's the psychological or mental game to wrestling where you want to get into your opponent's head like, hey, I know your past. Uh,
Right.
I know what you're capable of. I'm not afraid of you. Well, in this instance, Velveteen Dream came out dressed like Doc Brown from Back to the Future. So he was very much hinting, "Hey, look, kid, I know who you are. I'm the doctor in this situation." Um,
I
so
gotta look.
you know, you've got that. Um, Kushida came out showing a very different side that he didn't even show in like New Japan. He was very aggressive, very fast, came hard hitting and everything. And he literally showed him, hey, I'm here for a fight. Um,
This dude.
hold on, which one are we?
I'm just looking at the some of the pictures it's up on
Oh,
Google from last
oh,
night.
oh yeah, yeah. I told you he was like Marty McBrown or Doc Brown.
Doctor, yeah, Emmett Brown.
Yeah,
Oh damn.
but but you had Kushida coming out, and Kushida didn't even make an entrance. He came out hot, heavy. He came out during Dream's entrance, and got him while he was posed on the corner on the turnbuckle. Uh,
Damn.
Kushida's finisher is a armbar variant. Um, well, no, his actual finisher is a Kimura lock variation, but he's also known for a very nasty armbar. And he goes straight to work. He had to, he came out working that arm and working it hard. Uh, he at one point got Velveteen Dream's arm, caught it on the apron when he went to throw a punch, went running down the apron and pulled him into the ring post with it, driving that shoulder into the ring post, and then grabbed it again and ran up the steps and then jumped back off the steps, pulling that arm into that ring post with more force. Um, and after that second one, he ended up catching Velveteen Dream's hand between the ring and the ring steps with his shoulder pulled into that ring post, and actually did a running drop kick into the ring steps to further
Damn.
damage that arm that he's working. Um, because Kushida has very has a lot of influences. Uh, he's very influenced on joint manipulation and submissions, as well as the Japanese strong style, where those strikes they're coming in hot, they're coming in stiff. There's a good chance if you're not careful, you're going to get knocked out.
Right. He's a
But
very
that's yes,
technical wrestler too.
yes, which kind of goes back into that whole joint manipulation thing. Because I'll touch on it here in a little bit, but there's times where when he's got an armbar in, he's manipulating the fingers and taking them and twisting them and pulling them back and putting pressure on the finger joints, the wrist, anything to do with that arm.
Right.
Um, Dream ends up going for his finisher, which is he calls the Purple Rainmaker. It's an elbow drop. It's very reminiscent of Macho Man. It's also kind of a jab to the whole New Japan thing with thank you for that lurk spaz. Um, it's a jab to New Japan because their top guy, his finisher is called the Rainmaker.
Right.
It is a ripcord clothesline. It's nasty. It looks great. It's amazing. But it's kind of Dream's poke to, New Japan didn't want me. Let me show you what I can do.
Exactly.
Which is a lot of his personality. But he goes for this elbow drop, and he goes in with the bad arm, the arm that's been worked with the arm bars and being drove into the ring post and everything, and Kushida actually ends up catching him in an arm bar instead. And you know, he catches him in an arm bar, and Velveteen Dream gets out of it with a poke to the eye, and then goes for a power bomb and kind of just landslides into a pin attempt. Uh, Kushida kicks out, and in the process of the kick out, he catches him in another armbar. But this time, while he has the armbar, you see him biting the fingers while he's working the arm. So it goes back to working the joints and just keeping
Right.
that consistency in the storytelling, which was amazing. Um,
Taking advantage of the fact that the ref can't see everything that's going on because he's focused on trying to see if the other guy's going to tap out. So
exactly. So
take advantage of the situation.
right. Um, then you transition out a little bit more. Velveteen Dream goes for his Dream Valley Driver, which is a rolling DVD, and he cannot pull it off because of the arm. Uh, he's having issues with it. Uh,
Right.
then he finally does get into it, hits it, goes up and hits the elbow drop, not thinking about it, using that bad arm, the arm that's been attacked the entire time, and cannot follow through for the pin attempt. Um, there's there's a very, very, very stiff clothesline delivered from Velveteen Dream to Kushida that was very New Japan Pro Wrestling reminiscent. So it was one of those things uh, where it still kind of pulled some of Kushida's history into the match that most people wouldn't know with that clothesline. Um, Dream goes to the top to to go for another elbow. Kushida ends up running up and catching him in the hoverboard lock, which is that Kimura that I was talking about. Um,
Right.
Dream ends up, uh, or he ends up pulling Dream off of the rope in almost like a Spanish fly style move with that hoverboard locked in, and then manages to roll him away from the ropes to the center of the ring, holding this Kimura lock the entire time. Um, Dream gets up, has him up on his shoulders, and hits the Dream Valley Driver again, but Kushida legitimately just pretty much no sells it and rolls completely through the move with him and constantly holding this Kimura, this hoverboard lock, which forces Dream to end up having the tap out because now he is dead center of the ring. There is nowhere that he can reach to get the ropes. Um,
No way to get out.
the match was very deep in the storytelling uh, and technical, and it was really a technical showcase. Kushida ended up attacking Velveteen Dream after the match, locking in another armbar a couple times actually, and it Dream sold it amazingly, yelling, "This is my arm! My arm! Get off me! Don't touch me!" Um, another side note that I actually missed while we were talking about it. Throughout the match, there was a lot of back and forth between the wrestlers, but you can constantly hear Velveteen Dream calling him Marty McFly or Marty. Like he's literally poking and jabbing with this.
Hello, McFly.
Yeah,
Hello.
like he's jabbing with this whole Back to the Future theme. Um,
Think, McFly. Think.
yeah. So the after that, they went into a video package that actually announced their next event, which I was super excited about because it was one of my favorite WCW pay-per-views. They announced the return of Halloween Havoc that will be carried by the NXT brand, which is cool. I think October 28th is when that one's going to be, so we'll definitely catch up, watch that.
Yeah, I love that they're bringing these old school
Yes,
events back. Even though it's not going to like replace the all the mayhem that went down on the older ones, but I mean,
right.
it's at least a start. They're at least trying to
I
bring back
mean,
some of the Attitude Era people that remembered watching these live when they
yeah.
happened. So they're trying to bring back the nostalgia factor
I mean,
into it.
you stop and look at it. They brought back war games. Two rings, one cage, two team. Well,
Right.
normally two teams, but the first one they did, I think it was a three-way tag team match. It was weird, but
Yeah, I still want them to bring back World War III with 3 rings, 30 men in each ring. The last one of each ring standing moves into the center ring, and the winner there walks away with the championship. I think.
correct. I think that would be a
But
great one.
then again, it would be a good one, but I don't think they'll be able to do that till COVID passes because I think they've had to let go majority of their talent because budgetary restraints now. They're not making as much money because they're not selling out arenas anymore. They're mainly living off of merchandise and are living off of the WWE network, which from last I heard, sales of the network have actually gone down to the point that they're talking about raising the price up just to recoup some of the losses for the
Yeah.
people that have canceled,
Well, that's not why they're raising the prices.
trying to
The
keep up with everybody else.
Well, they're raising the prices because they're fixing to implement uh, independent wrestling into the WWE network.
Mm,
That's why they've been buying the rights to libraries like the WWN, Evolved Wrestling Library. They have a
makes
partnership
sense.
with indies overseas.
Right,
Um, I know they've got one with ICW in progress, which ICW is Scotland,
right.
and Progress is UK. Uh, I trust me, I watch a lot of wrestling, including those. But no, I love the fact that they're bringing back these old pay-per-view themes, war games.
Right.
They brought back In Your House, which was awesome to see because they literally did a setup with the In Your House set, and they brought back Todd Pettingill for that event, which was
Nice.
awesome. It was a nice nod to where we came from to where we are now.
Exactly. Kind of
Um,
a throwback, to nostalgia. Hey, look, we brought back In Your House. We all started here, but we kind of went full circle. Now we're
yeah,
back.
now we're here. Um, this leads into the third match, which is Santos Escobar against Isaiah Swerve Scott. I'm a very big fan of Swerve or Isaiah Scott. I've watched him since he was in the Independents and he was Shane Strickland. He was also in Lucha Underground. He was Killshot.
Right.
Um, this person is majorly talented. He can fly. He can be technical. He can do most of anything. He's very much like Ricochet.
Right.
Um, this was for the NXT Cruiserweight title match. Um, to me, I didn't get to watch this match completely. I saw bits and pieces. I'm
Same.
not a very big Santos Escobar fan. I'm very much a Lucha Libre fan, but something like Santos Escobar just I don't know. To me personally, it doesn't click. I don't think the gimmick that he has fits him where he's like a cartel leader. Um,
Right.
the match was a solid match. It was very full of cruiserweight moves. I
Fast
think
paced,
yeah,
high risk.
yeah, fast paced, high risk, a lot of flying. I think it ended with a bunch of chaos outside the ring, and then Escobar hit Scott with a loaded lucha mask or something, and then
Yeah.
into the finish. I think you actually ended up seeing more of the match than I did because at
Yeah.
that point was food time for me. So
Yeah. I saw. Like I watched the match, but it didn't really click, mainly because there's a lot going on in Discord at the time
Yeah.
and everything. But yeah, it was a solid match. I would probably rate it like a 7 out of 10, mainly because of the high risk luchador. Taking you back to the old school days. Back when they used to have like lucha libre and the Mexican luchadors running
Yes.
around. WCW, WWE, they had their own little version of it. And
Yeah.
the high risk, flipping off the top rope, going up, jumping off the turnbuckle, flipping through the ropes, and all that good stuff and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah,
Uh,
that's pretty much what I have on that one.
and then from that we went into the fourth match on the card. The fourth match, which was the third title defense on the card, and there was four entire championship matches on this card. So this is the third of the four. It was Candice LeRae against Io Shirai. Very good match. Um, I'm not. I was still dealing with like eating and trying to get some stuff cleaned at the same time. Uh, I know in the match there was a moment where Candice LeRae, whose husband is Johnny Gargano, who was in the very first match, Gargano comes out because there was a ref bump. The ref went down. He put on a referee's shirt, went to go count 1, 2, 3. I thought it was a 2 count, and they started freaking out,
But
and that's why
it was an
everything
actual
happened.
three.
Was it okay?
Yeah, it was an actual 3 count. Like Gargano hit the 3 count and everything, and he kept calling for him to ring the bell. And the timekeeper is not ringing the bell because Gargano's not an actual official. He's
Right,
not listed on the card to be an actual official, so it didn't count.
right.
Candice LeRae, she's flipping her shit because she just technically won because a referee made the 3 count and everything, and it got to the point where Gargano basically went out and jacked the belt from the timekeeper and went in and gave it to Candice LeRae. And about that time, the official regained consciousness and got back in the ring. And Gargano and the official are arguing back and forth. The ref's like, that's my shirt. Give me back my shirt. Gargano's keeping them distracted, backing away. The ref is back is turned. And at that point, Candice LeRae takes the title that she's holding and she just smacks Loshuri in the face with it,
Yeah,
thus knocking her out. And then she quickly throws the belt out of the ring. And when Gargano sees this happening, he quickly snaps, pulls the t-shirt off and throws it at the ref and jumps out of the ring.
yeah,
Ref turns around, sees LeRae going for the cover, throws down a 1, a 2, and then Loshuri kicks out.
yeah.
And then some more back and forth went through it. Ended up with Loshuri hitting the moonsault off the top rope to retain the title.
Who also, in my opinion, she has probably one of the prettiest moonsaults in wrestling. Uh,
Right.
Next to Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle had a absolute beautiful, perfect moonsault.
Oh, who had a really good moonsault? Somebody that nobody would ever expect.
I was gonna say, please don't say Brock Lesnar because
No,
he almost
he
broke
had
his
a
neck.
pretty botched shooting star press.
Which is
Vader,
okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Vader had a beautiful
400
moonsault.
pound Vader had a damn good moonsault.
Yeah, Vader had a moonsault. Um, so the
Made
interesting
his
thing from this match wasn't necessarily the match, but was after the match, where they had not one but two of their top females returning.
right,
You had Tony Storm come onto the video screen and issue the warning that she was back and she was back to NXT, and that everyone's head needs to be on a swivel because she was coming for the championship. And then there's been a lead up in the last couple weeks of this this mystery person returning. Um, and then you get a video package where you see this person pulling up to the arena on a motorcycle and then walking in. And lo and behold, it was the returning Ember Moon who came back to NXT from the Raw brand. Was the last place that
right.
she was seen before she ended up with a really nasty rotator cuff injury. So it was really exciting not to get not just to get Tony Storm, but also Ember Moon's coming back, and she's coming back to where she began.
I think we're gonna have a fatal four way coming up at Halloween Havoc between them four.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would almost bet. Well, no, no, because in the pre-show there was a Rhea Ripley had made the
Mm.
statement she wanted the winner of whoever was leaving Takeover as the champ. She was the number one contender.
There's
Um,
gonna be a lot of there's gonna be a massive storyline for this between all
yeah,
of them
yeah.
because you know Candice LeRae is not gonna let it go.
No,
So she's going to continue to go for it. Then you got, who is it, Storm,
yeah.
and
You've
then
got
you
Tony
got
Storm and
Ember
Ember
Moon
Moon returning.
that are coming in here, and then you've also got the other one. What was
You've
her
got
name again?
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley that also wants a shot at the title. So
Well, she wants to get her title back essentially.
right,
Um,
I think it's going to end up being like a fatal five way
I
or something.
I think it's going to be something. I think it will be the main event of Halloween Havoc, whatever it
Yeah, I think so
is.
because you can't just have Rhea Ripley versus Loshuri in a match because you've got three other women they have it in their mind that they want the title too. They're all going to interfere.
Right.
So over the next 3-4 weeks, look for a major storyline to build up with them eventually announcing it's going to be a fatal five way with Loshuri putting the title on the line against these other four women.
But this leads us into the video package that kind of shows, which is a very major video package for the main event, which was Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship, Heavyweight Championship. Um, it shows that Kyle O'Reilly is stepping up. It shows that he is truly the underdog in this match in Balor's eyes. Um, and it's also kind of hinted that there could be dissension amongst the Undisputed Era because
Right.
Adam Cole is not the one challenging for the title. Um, and that kind of comes full circle once we get to the end of the match, but we'll touch on that when we get there.
Right.
This match started off uh the match started off slow. Both men were targeting shoulders of others. You pointed
Very
that
slow.
out. I actually ended up missing that. Um, Balor ends up landing a drop kick to O'Reilly's face. There's some back and forth, and I think this is around the time that back spinning heel kick
Oh yeah,
lands.
that botched heel kick. That I don't know if Balor just put too much force into it, if O'Reilly just didn't read, didn't hear the call right or anything. But Balor come in with a back spinning heel kick
And
and
it
ended up nailing O'Reilly right in the midsection, right around the rib, left side of it, was
right side,
right side of
right
his
side.
body, right around the rib cage and kidney area. And you could tell at first it just looked like a normal hit, and then Ballard moves into, you know, you could tell what the next move was O'Reilly was supposed to throw a punch to kind of get back at Ballard for that, but when he cocked back with that punch, he brought that
He
arm down and stumbled, and then he quickly threw that left hand up to tell
yeah
Ballard,
he
"Hold
he
on,
waved
something's not
uh,
right."
yeah, it
And then
was.
at that point, Ballard just kind of backed away into the corner because he knew something's not right. Something happened.
Yeah, which it goes to show just how much they put into this and how they try their best to take care of each other and
Right,
keep each other safe. It's not ballet
right.
dancing, it's not ballroom dancing. Shit happens.
People do
Um
get hurt, but no matter what the rivalry and what the feud is going on, if one person throws that hand up and says, "Wait, whoa, whoa, hold on," the other person's, unless he's Brock Lesnar, the other person's going to back off.
Now I will tell you it was very reminiscent of I think the whole reason he ended up wincing and feeling it later is I think it shook or shocked the kidney a little bit more than was expected because
Right,
that's very reminiscent of those rabid kidney shots like Bass Rutten used to
right,
throw and they creep up on you and you feel
right.
fine then it hits you and you go down.
Right.
I think,
And the thing is, like, whenever you take a hard hit like that, or like you could tell, like he cracked some ribs or broke ribs or something. But usually, what happens in a moment like that is you get a surge of adrenaline, and I think that's what happened. That's why he kept going because you could tell the ref knew something was wrong.
yeah,
The ref went over to him, was checking on him, and he told the ref to back off, and he got back up and continued going like nothing was wrong.
right,
But you could tell something was up.
yeah.
It was that surge of adrenaline that hit him, and once that adrenaline wore off, that he started feeling that pain, and you knew at that point something was up.
Now, I've had broke ribs before, and I think we're going to touch on this here in a little bit. But to continue going for another 25 plus minutes with the extent of how broke those ribs more than likely are was
Right,
impressive on its own.
right,
Uh, but after that, there's another exchange, and that is where the first actual announced injury comes in.
right.
Um, and that is where there's another drop kick or a knee. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but Balor
I
throws
think
it
it
to
was a
O'Reilly.
Yeah, I think it was a knee. A knee
And
was a knee into the same rib,
yeah,
same general area that he
well,
kicked.
no. This was the one to the face.
Right.
Um, and it ended up apparently breaking some of Kyle O'Reilly's teeth. So that's where the blood from the mouth was coming from on O'Reilly. Because we kept talking that could be internal injuries or that could be a busted mouth. Well, it was definitely a busted mouth because he had some teeth broke.
Right.
Um, and that leads into that leads into them literally just pushing harder and harder and going. It it was pedal to the metal at that point.
Right.
Um, it was at that point it got very hard hitting. It was very much a true back and forth, like who's the better person here. I loved the fact that O'Reilly went for the legs,
Right.
and I didn't catch it the first time, but like I told you, I've rewatched this a few times after that. There's a drop kick to the knee, and
Right.
then O'Reilly goes into a leg, like a knee bar heel hook. Balor starts moving and starts kicking him in the head with his free foot, and you
Right.
see O'Reilly then switch from what he has. He catches the foot, laces it under the other leg, and literally ties up both legs and
Yeah.
reapplies the heel hook at that point.
Right.
Um,
Basically, it almost what to me it almost looked like a modified figure four
yeah, it was almost like
that
an
he put.
inverted figure four.
Right.
But the wherewithal and the just knowing how busted those ribs were, to have the
Right.
wherewithal to still continue to take the punishment. He took some bumps on the outside where it's just a thin like tumble mat in concrete.
Right.
He took a bump into the ring apron because Balor ended up hitting a ring apron move, and like I pointed out earlier, that's the hardest part of that ring.
Yeah.
And
There's no give on that.
yeah, to have your body that you're already having issues getting enough oxygen into because of the ribs to still go through all of that and keep going like he was.
Yep.
To me, that my takeaway from this was Kyle O'Reilly showed, hey, this title will be around my waist. I'm not
Right.
just a backup. I'm not just a tag team specialist.
Right.
I'm also dangerous.
He also showed that he's not going down without a fight either.
Yeah.
He's not going to let a simple injury at the beginning of the match, cause it to just stop and cancel his chance. He's going to go out fighting.
The match comes to an end with Balor landing the coup de grace double
Whoa, whoa,
stomp
whoa,
from the
whoa! Hold on
top.
a second. Hold on. You're
Yep.
you're, you're skipping something.
Okay, what am I
Don't
skipping?
forget, let's not forget about Balor's injury.
Oh, yes, you are
Don't forget about
correct.
Balor. Was
Cause
it
that
taking that drop kick or that knee to the
it
face?
was that running knee into the corner. You're right. You're
Taking that
right.
running
So
knee to the corner.
the second injury of the night, I'm glad. Well, yeah, because that actually fell right before he took the two. Ended up for the coup de grace.
Right. That's the third. That's the third
Yeah,
one on the night.
yeah, but it's the second one that they've announced. I haven't said anything about
Right.
O'Reilly's ribs yet.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, no, they were hinting at it being like kidney, and the
oh, that's
kidney and
okay.
everything, and then they didn't say nothing about the teeth or nothing or whatnot. They
Yeah,
announced that
yeah,
after,
yeah, yeah.
way
So
after.
O'Reilly hits a running knee into the corner. The knee apparently looked as though it may have broke the jaw of Finn Balor, which there was a lot of blood coming from in there, which, I've been punched in the face many times and in the jaw, and when you get hit hard enough, you end up biting tongue or biting you know,
Your cheek, your
yeah.
lip, something. Especially if you're not prepared for it, you're not expecting it.
Yeah, and after that point, you see Balor. He keeps grabbing at his face and his jaw, holding it. Um, but for both men to take the injuries that they ended up sustaining and just keep pushing through and doing what what their job is was amazing
Right.
to see. But that instance, he hits the knee, um, and then he goes for a suplex out of it, or a Falcon's arrow out of it. Balor reverses it and looks like he's going to hit the 1916, and then he grabs and repositions to where he has Balor's head and arm trapped under his, or where he has O'Reilly's head and arm trapped underhooked, and ends
Right.
up driving an elbow into the ribs,
Right.
those bad ribs on O'Reilly, and then double stomps him on the ground, then climbs to the top and drops the coup de grace, that diving double stomp,
Right.
uh, landing right in those ribs there again. Um, and he ends up
There is no give on that. No matter
no,
how much he bends and he leans back, you're still taking
because
180, 200 pounds.
and you could tell that he was trying to to graze as much as he could, but if you notice when he lands and he falls back, he lands right on top of O'Reilly, right across his ribs,
Right.
regardless. So like, there's not really much give, and yeah, to O'Reilly's benefit, he did roll with it. So
Right.
it was more the good ribs than the bad ribs taking the weight,
Right.
but at the same time, he's still flat down on the canvas, so the shock
Right.
is still going to shock down through into those other ribs.
Exactly.
All in all, that Balor hit the coup de grace, gets the 1, 2, 3. Um, and the announcers, all three announcers, both point out how hard fought of a main event that was, and that there's no reason either one of those guys could leave there without saying, "I gave my all." Um, and I agree with them. To me, this was the best match on the card.
Right.
Um,
This match, the main event deserved to be the main event because
yes,
it was hard fought. It had a lot of back and forth, despite the fact that it started off slow. The match picked up and everything, like all good main event matches do. They start out slow and they build to that massive ending that nobody anticipates.
right.
I do kind of feel that once Balor took that knee to the jaw, I feel like they rushed the ending. I feel like the pay per view ended a little sooner than it should have, mainly because I think Triple H in the back and the medical staff in the back knew something was wrong because O'Reilly was still bleeding from the mouth, and now Balor is bleeding from the mouth.
Yeah,
So not only do you got to worry about them further injuring themselves, but you also got to worry about blood on blood contact, and
yeah,
who knows what could come from that. So I think at that point they gave The
I
ref
think
and
the
his
ref got
earpiece
the
to
go
go ahead,
ahead. Yeah.
to send it home, and that's when they ended it like
Um.
that.
Now I do give them credit on how they ended the show for the night because it shows Balor. Because Balor, since he's come back to NXT, he's the prince. No one is better than him. And
Right,
Balor acknowledges O'Reilly, helps him up off the ground. They have a handshake, and then it cuts to someone standing in a crowd with a body draped over their shoulder,
crowd.
which, yeah, crowd. Um, which is ironic. That was the only section of the ringside area
They
that there was no plexiglass whatsoever. You
Well,
know,
if you notice, they kept the camera away from that spot because I think during the match they were taking it down for this particular spot
no, no,
because there.
it was missing the entire show because there
Oh, it
was a
was.
yeah
Oh, I never noticed.
there was a catch with I caught it during the Lorray during the women's title match. I caught
Yeah.
it because like the plexiglass was just not there, and I'm like, why, where? Okay, and I know I
Something
also
going on
noticed it.
here.
Yeah, I'd also noticed it at the beginning with Priest and Gargano because they were outside a lot all around the ring.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you catch it there, like the chain link just ends and there's no
Right.
plexiglass shielding, and I'm like, oh, okay, so where does that come into play? Well, this is where it
Right.
comes into play. You have um, what did I say? It was Ridge Hollander. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was Rick Hollander, and he had Adam
he
Cole.
had Adam Cole draped over his shoulder, and he's staring at both Balor and O'Reilly, and he just dumps Adam Cole onto the floor, and everyone starts coming out, and everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. So it kind
Right.
of ends in like a mass confusion with all of the competitors in the ring. In all honesty, I've got a feeling I know where this is going. I don't think that it. I think that it's in essence the end of the undisputed era, and we get a new formation of the Bullet Club that Balor started because you have Balor and you have Adam Cole who were both Bullet Club members before they ever got to WWE.
Right. Well, and you notice when he was out there, he wasn't staring Balor down. He was staring O'Reilly down,
Yeah, yeah,
and he had Adam Cole, which is a member of O'Reilly's faction,
right.
and dumped him and whatnot. And you notice, like, after they called for medical personnel and everything, they looked at Balor. They're like, "What's going on?
Yeah,
What's the deal?" And
yeah.
he was like,
Balor's like, I've got no idea what's going on here.
"I don't know."
I think it was a good. I think it was
It
a
was a
good
good
little shake
closeout,
up.
right?
Um, and then uh, today I've read that NXT has been pulled from the draft that WWE will be doing in like next month, I think. So the NXT superstars are not eligible in the draft, which is going to be interesting.
Which means they've got some storylines that they're about to unveil, and they
Yeah,
don't want to break those up,
yeah. So I'm
which will
intrigued to
be interesting.
see. I'm intrigued to see where this whole undisputed era thing goes.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's get off topic a little bit. Let me see that mod you got there. I think we got the same mod.
We do.
Nope. All right,
Or no,
you got
yeah,
a different
mine's the
mod.
screen. Mine's got the
Yeah,
front screen.
yeah. I've got the geek vape and everything, but mine is right here.
Yeah,
I got the smaller screen.
yours is the Legacy. Mine's the Legacy X.
Yeah, basically the same mod. You're just a higher model than what I got.
Yeah, that's because my other one finally crapped the bed and the battery door wouldn't stay closed and was
That's
falling
the same problem
apart.
that I have. That's the same problem I have with mine. The damn battery door won't stay closed on it.
Yeah, but
I tell you, I don't even know where it is. But now we take with all that transpiring, the show goes off the air, and then fast forward 2-3 hours later, NXT reports out that O'Reilly and Balor were both taken to the emergency room. Merrick, this is what you were talking about.
yeah.
They were both
Um,
taken to the ER.
so it was reported that uh, O'Reilly originally was treated backstage and is confirmed has several broken teeth, which was causing the blood from the mouth, and was also in process to going to a local medical facility to get x-rays on ribs or have x-rays done. They didn't necessarily say ribs, but for x-rays. In that Finn Balor had been taken to, like, once Finn Balor got backstage, he was immediately taken to the local medical facility there in DC to have a CAT scan done for a potential facial fracture, which more
Right.
than likely is going to be either in his jaw or it's going to be around in his orbital
Right.
socket. Um,
Now, this isn't the first time we've seen a superstar with broken teeth. I'm
no,
sure you remember
no,
that botch splash that Cesaro did
Cesaro and his
at
teeth
that
were
pay per view.
gone.
He knocked his teeth out.
Yeah. Um, all in all, I think I think Takeover 31 was good.
Yes.
Um, I watched Takeover 30, and coming from Takeover 30 to 31, they kept the momentum. I will openly say that they did. You know, they kept the momentum going from the two shows. Takeover 30 was still, in my opinion, better, but I think it was better because the match that stole the show on that card was Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee.
Right.
And Pat McAfee came out and showed out and held his own with probably one of the best in the wrestling business today. And
Right.
didn't treat it like a joke, like, you know, over the years we've seen.
Right.
This was someone who legitimately came in and did his best and gave his all. Uh,
Right.
but taking Takeover 30 out of the equation, Takeover 31 held strong. The Takeover events have always been top notch.
Right.
Uh, it, just to emphasize how much I think the NXT shows have been better than the actual WWE pay-per-views. When I went to WrestleMania weekend, I chose to go to the NXT Takeover the night before WrestleMania instead of going to Mania,
Right.
and I don't
It's just,
regret it. Like, it was amazing.
it's
Um,
just solid storytelling, amazing performances from all the performer, all the athletes and everything, the entertainers as they like to be called now. It's just
right.
it's hard to beat. For some reason I don't know what it is, but once they leave, they leave NXT, they get drafted up into Raw or SmackDown. They start off hot and everything, and then
They get lost in the shuffle.
yeah, they get lost in all the other people there. Because I mean, the same thing happened with Balor. It took Balor when Balor got called up. He did really good and everything. He got into a feud with
Well, you stop and think.
I get
Balor was the first Universal Champion.
right,
Like, he
and then he
got
got
called
injured.
up and he won the title his first month from being
Right,
called up. But at
right,
that same time, injury happened.
right, and then he got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Right,
And I mean, he had good feuds. He had a really good feud with Bray Wyatt.
right,
He had a really good feud with Bobby Lashley, but he didn't have like that major I'm getting my title back that I
right,
never lost feud.
right,
And I think that had he got that feud, that would have changed his trajectory in Raw.
right. And see, and at the time when he did make his comeback and he did the whole "I was the first Universal Champion, I never lost my title" type thing. I think at that time it was on Mr. Part Time Brock Lesnar,
It was.
and I really think that if they had pushed that, really think that would have been a good card to have the Demon take on Brock Lesnar and have Brock drop the title back to Balor. That would give Balor a huge push.
It would have.
But instead,
I
they decided to push Lesnar versus Goldberg.
I think what they should have done. So they had the entire storyline where Rollins was going to slay the Beast, and he did slay the Beast and get the title from him. they
Right.
should have had a story, or there should have been an angle with now the person who caused the injury has the title and he wants his shot at getting it back from the person who caused him to not be able to defend it. I think
Right.
that would have been a very, very good story, and Seth Rollins and Finn Balor could have told one amazing story out of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, but everyone, this was the wrestling review with Puppet and Six. We're going to do these for the major shows, like the major pay-per-view shows with I think NXT, and I'm gonna try to do them with AEW if you're up for it.
Yeah, I'm down.
Um, and then I think maybe once every other week or so, we'll just
Yeah.
we'll find random things, watch them, review them, and have
Yeah, we can go
maybe
back and
like
watch old
yeah,
pay per views and whatnot.
yeah,
I tell
well,
you what, let's make the first one that we do the what was it, 1996 Bash at the Beach.
96 Bash,
Yeah, I think that's
the
the where
the
the NWO
NWO,
formed.
yeah,
Yeah, let's go back and
96 or
let's do
97.
that one. Yeah, let's do that one. Let let's have that be the first retro one that we do because I want to go back and I want to watch that card again. I
Yeah,
want to see everything that goes on, see what all happened and what leads up to it and everything because it's been a while since I've watched that.
yeah. No,
That'll be a good one to
I'm
do.
definitely cool with that. We can go back and do the Bash at the Beach, the NWO formation. Or
Yep.
well,
And
let me rephrase that. The the
the New World
third
Organization,
the third
the third imposter,
member the third member reveal.
the third imposter.
Yeah, the third imposter.
And that's what he was.
Yeah, legitimately it was.
Shit.
Um
What's the next WWE pay per view?
um
Because they just had
they just had
what was it
Clash.
Clash of Champions? So the next one won't be till like November.
No, they've got one for October. Hell in a Cell.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Hell in a Cell, October.
Oh man, I don't know, man. I still think the best one of the best Hell in a Cell matches was Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. That one when Kane debuted, and the next one was like the actual next Hell in a Cell,
Was
which was
Taker Mankind
Undertaker and Mankind,
that
and oh
everyone
my
knows about.
fucking god!
Now, I listen.
Especially with Jim Ross's, my God, he's dead, he's dead,
Oh,
he's broken in half.
Mrs. Foley's baby boy's been broken in
Right,
half. Oh my God.
right.
Now
God, he killed him.
I will say, as of recent Hell in a Cells, I think the best one's been a tag team, and I
What the
will.
Usos?
It was the Usos and the New Day.
Yeah,
That was a good Hell in a Cell match
right.
because they literally they went in there and they did stuff in that Hell in a Cell structure that it wasn't over the top, but man, it was
Right,
brutal.
right.
Especially when there was one point in the match where they ended up essentially locking Xavier Woods in the corner of the cell with kendo sticks. And like they
Right.
put one of the kendo sticks literally across his face and mushed it, like they mushed that kendo stick in as tight as they could.
Oh man. They had some good matches, and they also had some duds, man. Like SummerSlam, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
That was a dud. And then what was it? SummerSlam. It was Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, when Goldberg beat him in like 20 something seconds. It's
That
like
was no though.
really
That wasn't even SummerSlam. That was
Survivor Series. What did no shit? I don't remember.
it was near the end of the year. I really do think it was Survivor Series.
Yeah, I think it was Survivor Series that they did that.
I'm pretty sure it was, and it was
Goldberg came back and
Goldberg comes
squashed
out,
with
spear, jackhammer, it's over.
right like 20 something seconds.
Like the pay per view was great until that point. Then I got so mad
Right,
I turned it off. I was like, all right, I'm done. This
right.
this is how
You
you're
know,
gonna
you're
end.
sitting here like
This is one
you
of your
got
big.
30 minutes,
Yeah, it's like this is one of the big four, and you're gonna end
30
it with
minutes
that.
left in this. 30 minutes left of this damn pay per view. You know, you got this big hype. It's all worked up, and everybody's expecting it. Comes out, and Goldberg's in the corner, or Goldberg's in the middle. Lesnar's in the corner. Lesnar shows Goldberg. He back and rolls, gets up. Lesnar charges, spear.
Yeah,
Goldberg goes to the corner. Lesnar gets up, spear again, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, 28 seconds. And you're like,
like
is there
this.
something else on the card?
This is how you're ending one of the big four. You know, you
So
got so
is there something else on the card?
your big four are Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor.
Right,
Rumble, your big surprises come in the Rumble match itself. I mean, look at this past year. Edge. Edge's
right,
return after being told you'll never wrestle again.
right.
And it,
Hardy's the year before that.
yeah, that was Mania.
Right,
Like, you have your big surprises for these. So, we're finally getting Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg, the return match from, however, from WrestleMania 20.
right,
And it's like, you just you had this entire match in 28 seconds. There's two spears, a jackhammer, and that's it.
right. That's right. It was Shinsuke that made his debut at Mania. Not made it at Rumble.
Yeah,
I think yeah, Shinsuke made his debut at the Rumble.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean it's
yeah.
Edge
No,
returns.
it's
Is he out again? Is he done?
he's not done. He's injured. He got injured in that last match. He got injured in that the greatest wrestling match ever with
I guess
Orton.
doesn't pay to get old.
He ended up popping his bicep or tricep, one of
Ooh.
the two.
Like that's what happens when you spend years on the shelf because your WWE won't clear you.
Yeah, but so the next one will be the '96 Bash at the Beach.
Right.
Um, like I said, I think we're going to try to do these every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that
That
sounds
way,
good.
it gives us enough time to watch the lead up of everything, the event itself, and then have time to discuss it and get everything together. Um,
Right. I've actually got Raw DVR right now on my Hulu, so I can go back later and watch it and see if there's any highlights that we can go over or something
okay. Yeah, I
or
normally,
whatnot.
I'll be honest, I catch the highlights on YouTube for Raw and SmackDown
Yeah,
though.
more than
Um,
likely that's what's going to happen. I'll probably just skip through it and see if there's
now,
anything interesting going on.
I will say there is one storyline that okay, there's two storylines currently that have me, and that is the whole Roman Reigns Jey Uso
Right,
storyline, and then
right.
the other one is the Alexa Bliss,
Bray Wyatt,
Bray
Sister Abigail.
Wyatt. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
going to be interesting. I think that I think so. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Alexa Bliss Fiend relationship
right.
ends up tying into a Roman Reigns feud with the Fiend,
I think so too.
and I
Yeah,
think it plays out to where Bliss makes Roman feel as though she betrayed the Fiend and is by his side. And it culminates at Mania with her,
unveiling as Sister Abigail.
yeah, and that she was behind the Fiend the entire time.
Right, and then I
I
think
think
that's
that's
where
where
we'll
it
see
goes.
Braun Strowman coming back
Yeah,
on the side of Wyatt, and I think, like you said, I think we'll see
I
Bo
think
Dallas
I
coming
think it'll be
out.
Bo Dallas. I
Bo
really do.
Dallas comes out with a complete gimmick change and everything.
Yeah. Um.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know because the Fiend is the dark side of everything, but right now Bray Wyatt's on this, positivity kick type thing. So
But
I
okay.
think they may end up. He's on like a schizophrenic type thing,
So
where he's got the good side and the bad side. I think they may try and work in Bo Dallas or something like that too.
no, yeah, I really think that Bo Dallas comes in and you have the Bo leave,
Right,
and then you
and
have
then
the
he
flip
also
side
has the
where
twisted,
it's
yeah,
yeah.
twisted
I,
side.
I think it's going to be something of that nature.
That'd be
But
interesting. And then you got Braun Strowman, who'll probably start coming back with the mask again.
I don't see. I don't know. I really just think Braun Strowman will just be a monster.
I think so too. Yeah.
Like I don't think unless they pull a spin where everyone has this whole broken split personality thing.
I don't know because I mean
I
I
mean
don't
they've
know how you
kind
could work that in with
so
three people.
they've kind of teased it with Alexa already. Like she's fine
Right.
until she hears a certain word, and then it's
Right.
trance, and this other side comes out.
Right.
So I mean, essentially, it could be something of that nature.
Could be. It could be
But
something that Bray Wyatt says and they all just snap.
yeah,
Kind of like what's his name? Snitsky from back in the day.
oh yeah,
Comes out all normal and everything, and then when somebody says something, he just it flips on and he just nonstop.
about kicking the baby.
Right. Just
But
kicking the shit out of whoever he's up against.
but no, all in all, I think the show was really good. Um, I think we've got a good formula here for it. Uh, not too bad.
Good good build up to Halloween Havoc.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we're gonna see. I think we may see a rematch on O'Reilly and Balor for Havoc
yeah, yeah. I do
for the
too.
title. Because I don't know
Um,
who else. Hello, person in the background.
yeah, that's the roommate
Because I
or
think we're
one
gonna
of them.
have. We got a good build up. I don't know who else is actually up to the card right now to be main event with Balor besides O'Reilly.
I genuinely think it's going to be O'Reilly Balor. It's going to be a return match.
Yeah, I think so too.
Um, I do know, like maybe the week of Halloween Havoc that we may do a surprise one because I want to watch one of my favorite Halloween Havocs
Oh yeah.
where they electrocute Abdullah the Butcher. And I think that was like 92, 93.
Shit, cue it up. Let's watch it.
So that the bad part is that was the very first match on the damn pay-per-view.
How you
But
gonna lead up with like your best match?
yeah, like the big kicker was this whole Chamber of Horrors match
Right.
where you've got two teams and this is going to happen and someone's going to get electrocuted. You start the show off with the Chamber of Horrors match.
Right.
It's just like, well, okay, cool.
Somebody in WCW didn't know what the hell they were doing back then.
Um, which, and in all honesty, we may just watch that match and go over it. Um, we'll look at the entire card of what that one
Shit,
was.
let's look at the card and see. I
Yeah,
mean,
we'll
I don't
take a
remember
look.
much of them back then.
We'll take a look at those. And at some point, I want to do the first WCW uncensored pay per
Right.
view that they did because that has probably one of my favorite Dustin Rhodes matches in it, where
Yeah.
him and uh, the Blacktop Bully are fighting in the back of the semi going down the highway.
Oh shit. Oh, what's another good one that we could watch? The King of the Ring, where stunning Steve Austin takes on Jake the Snake.
Oh, the birth of Stone Cold.
The birth of Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we could do. We can write all these matches down and we can just watch those matches and then just do like a combined review of those
Um,
matches. You know, those big key moments in
key
wrestling
moments in
history.
wrestling.
You know, the form of DX when DX formed. When The Rock took over the nation, turned his back on Farouk.
Warden, there will definitely be casket matches in there because I
Casket
think one
match,
of the
Undertaker and Kane, yeah.
I think well not necessarily Undertaker and Kane. The first major one was Taker and
Mankind,
no Yoko.
no. Oh yeah,
That was the
Yokozuna.
first. That was the first time
Oh
Taker
yeah,
disappeared.
right, exactly. Taker
Um,
and Yokozuna, and then the Taker Mankind casket match where No, it was a buried alive match. It wasn't a
Yeah,
casket
that
match.
was buried alive.
That
Where
was when Paul Bearer betrayed
turns.
Undertaker and went
Now,
to Mankind.
did he turn him on the buried? Did he turn on the buried alive match, or was it the broiler room brawl before the buried alive
It
match?
was it was the Boiler Room Brawl because it was a whole
Okay.
thing that was done like on Raw
Yeah.
that led up to the match with Undertaker losing to Mankind in the Buried Alive.
Yeah.
And the only reason he lost is because all the other superstars came out and helped Mankind bury
Yeah.
him
Yeah. Yeah.
in there.
And then I think the turn happened after that because I think the broiler room brawl was after the buried alive
Right. Oh,
because
dude,
I think it was SummerSlam.
we got to go over the whole Ministry of Darkness.
Oh yeah, where
The
Vince
whole
McMahon
ministry.
is the
Yeah, but
divine.
before they do that, when he actually crucified Stephanie on Raw.
Yeah. Taker, I will openly say this. Taker's had some great, like, Taker's been a part of a lot of moments.
Yeah, I mean, in the Attitude Era, man, it was just there was so much they could do because they weren't being censored by TV and people
Oh,
weren't so sensitive back then. You could have all
another
these
another key moment.
storylines.
Another key moment is the um Shawn Michaels mocking the presidential speech or the presidential apology.
Right.
I promise
Or
I
what
did
about
not
when
sleep with that young intern, but we were up all
all
night.
night. Oh, the most fucked up one was when DX came out during their feud with the Nation of Domination,
Oh, when they were
and
all
they
dressed
came
up.
out dressed up like The Rock and
Yeah.
D'Lo and what's his name X Pac come out in
As Bismarck
blackface
Henry.
as Mark Henry. Road Dogg
Yeah.
came out like D'Lo. It's like
You had
holy
you
shit,
had
you can't
Triple
do that shit
H.
nowadays. You'll get in fucking
Yeah,
trouble.
you had Triple
Triple H
H
was
come
The
out
Rock,
as the Croc.
the
Um
Croc.
uh X Pac
Road Dogg
was Bismarck
was Mark
Henry.
Henry. Road
Um
Dogg was D'Lo.
yeah, and I don't remember. I think they called him
Billy
Belo,
Gunn, yeah, D'Lo. Billy Gunn was
the Godfather.
Godfather, whatever his character was back then.
It was the Godfather. They still called him that when he was in
Right,
the Nation. So
right. All right.
um
Wife needs me to help with something, so I guess let's go ahead and
all right, we will go
wrap it
ahead
up.
and take this home. Six, last but not least, your overall thoughts on the Takeover card, and then we should be good.
I give it a solid 8 out of 10, with the final match on the card being what carried it over.
Yeah, I can
I
agree
was
with that
really
one.
I was really impressed with O'Reilly and Balor. I was impressed with the Priest and
Gargano.
Gorgano match as well. That was a really good. That was a really hard match, and it really set the stage for all the other matches and everything. And sometimes I hate when they start with those good matches because then when you have like the next match is kind of a flop, it makes it hard because it's hard to follow up with the good matches like that. I think they should have started with the
They
Velveteen Dream match first, and then have the
see.
Priest
I
and
think the
Gorgano
cruise.
match
I
right
think the
before
cruiserweight should have been first. I think it
first.
should have
Yeah,
been cruiserweight. Um,
Velveteen Dream.
I would have put it in the middle. Or no. Yeah, I would have done cruiserweight, Velveteen, and then either Gargano's, either the North American Championship or the NXT champion or the NXT Women's title, and then whichever one didn't, the other one would go before Balor O'Reilly.
See, I would have. I think I would put the Prince and Gorgano, and then follow that up with Candice LeRae and Loshuri, and then finish the card like they did with O'Reilly and Finn
Yeah,
Balor. Put your
yeah,
three strongest matches with the strongest storyline at the end of the card,
yeah,
and end. Start off slow but end on a good note. Instead of starting off fast and good, then slowing down, and then ending on a high note.
yeah. Yeah, I think that would have been a better layout.
Right.
But they've always been so
Flaky.
not really flaky, but they've always been takeovers. Always hit the first match is fucking balls to the walls. Um,
I guess I guess they got to do that because they want to try and make sure they keep everybody's focus.
so for instance, takeover New Orleans that I went to. Very first
Right.
match right out of the gate was the 6-man ladder match for the NXT North American Championship. Who was going to be the first in North American champion? Like
Right.
that was the first match right out of the gate. So you had that. Then you had the tag match. Then you had a singles match, and then you had the NXT Women's Title, and then you had Aleister Black and Andrade for the
Right.
NXT Championship, where Aleister won it.
Right.
And it was right out of the gate, pedal to the metal. Slowed down a little bit, but was still good. And
Right.
this one was all right. Okay, this one was good, and then pedal to the metal at the end.
Right.
Um, which that format works out because it gives your live audience a chance to recoup from a very high intense match.
Right.
Because I will tell you from being in the crowd, I was exhausted after the first match. Like I was
Right.
exhausted just
Right.
from the amount of different chants that happened, from the oh my gods that were yelled. Then it slowed down, and you had the tag match, and you had a surprise of the Viking Raiders appearing, and like that one kind of came through, and I was like, all right. And then that match where it was like, this one could be hit or miss. That
Right.
gave you that chance to, okay, I feel, I feel my energy coming back now.
Right. Exactly.
So, but
The Rock's cooking chicken nuggets.
cheeky nuggets. But no, I agree. On that show, I would definitely say a solid 8. Um, maybe an 8.5.
Yeah.
Because Priest and Gargano was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I'll be honest about that one.
Right.
Balor O'Reilly, in my opinion, blew what my expectations out of the water. Like
Right.
I'd said that was going to be before the show ever started. I said that's going to be the match of the night.
Right.
Wow. Um, nowhere near the. I thought it wasn't going to be as intense as it was, but it was going to be a good match.
Right.
Uh,
A solid card.
yeah. Kushida, the whole Kushida Velveteen Dream. I thought that one was a really good match. Mainly because I've watched Kushida for a while now. And to see him finally get that break in NXT was exciting and good, and it was a different vibe. Um, but it was a good change in pace from what we had seen with the first two match or with the first match. So it was, I think the Gargano going into Kushida Velveteen was a good, those two being where they were, like one after the other, was a good complex.
Right.
Uh, Position on the card should have been different, totally different, because
Right.
that first match was really good. But yeah, I would say 8, maybe an 8.5 out of 10. Um, and everyone tune in next time with me, Puppet Master 2191, and
617.
as we do Bash at the Beach, are we going to do the whole show, or do you want to just do the key moments in wrestling?
Uh, We'll play it by ear. We'll
Okay.
see. Let's take a look at the card. I'll look it up on Wikipedia
Okay.
and see if there's anything in there and whatnot. And then worst case scenario, we'll take the final match, the one that I want to see, and then we can mix in some of the other stuff, and we can just kind of do like a combined review, pay per view type thing.
If I think that's the right Bash at the Beach, I think it's also got the no DQ match with Kevin Sullivan and Benoit.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's the one.
But yeah, we'll definitely take a look and see what we got. But join us in a couple weeks where we do episode number 2
Yeah,
of
July 7th, 1996.
what? Okay, where we do episode 2 of the podcast review, wrestling review. Thank
Sounds good to
you,
me.
thank you, thank you. Y'all have
Peace.
a good night.